In this video, we will continue working on Lab 1. Let's talk about algebra. Mathematica has several built-in commands that are very helpful for simplifying and manipulating algebraic expressions. In the Classroom Assistant palette, at the top, we have the Basic and Advanced tabs. If you scroll down a bit, under the Basic Commands area, there are several tabs. The first tab has to do with arithmetic. The next tab has to do with algebra. The next tab has to do with calculus. Next, we have linear algebra. We have some operations with lists. And then we have 2D plotting, and we'll talk about that more in the next lab. But for today, we want to look at the basic commands portion, second tab, which is the algebra area. So what we want to do is we want to grab the commands in here that accomplish the task given below. For example, if we want to simplify the expression x squared minus 16 over 3x minus 12, first, let's create a new input cell. Next, click on Simplify. We need a fraction, and now we need x squared minus 16, and the denominator 3x minus 12. Shift Enter, and we have an answer. Next, we want to factor this expression. Let's create a new input cell, click on Factor, and then a shortcut is to copy-paste this expression. Now I'll be quiet for a few minutes and let you continue working. Notice that the answers are below, so if you click on this little arrow, you will see the answers. I'll come back online in a few minutes to continue in this lab. Okay, so for the last question here, it says solve the equation natural log of x equals 2 for x. To solve this, let's click on the solve command. Now natural log, ln, that's not one of our commands over here. And so let's look very careful at the difference between log, log, and log 10. In math class, on paper, when we write log, we usually mean log 10. But Mathematica has its own language. It has its own rules and syntax. And notice that log, log, in Mathematica language means natural log. Log 10 in Mathematica means our log base 10. So we're going to click on log. We want log of x. Notice that the solve command put in a double equal sign for us, which is good. And then on the right-hand side, we just want 2. So there's our equation. Natural log of x equals 2. And we want to solve that for the variable x. Shift Enter. Mathematica gave us an exact answer, e squared. Now, if we want to find a decimal approximation to 8 significant digits, we can go back and use our n, our numerical approximation. I can copy paste this e squared, or we can go up here to the Classroom Assistant palette and click on e squared. And let's do that out to 8 significant digits. Now notice the wrong way of doing this. If you click on N and then you say, oh, E on my keyboard, if you type on E on your keyboard, this is a mistake, and Mathematica won't know what you're talking about. It thinks that E is a variable. So there's a difference between the E on the keyboard and the irrational number E found up here in the Classroom Assistant palette. Okay, so if we want to erase this bad mistake we made, you can go over to the right and click on any of these brackets. I'll click on this big one here and then hit delete, and that will get rid of that. Let's check our answers. Everything looks good. Indeed, everything looks good. Okay, so let's move on. The last thing we want to talk about is assigning names. So in Mathematica, it's often it's a very good idea to name things that you're going to use again. So for example, if we wanted to find the exact value of cosine of pi over 12, we could do that, and we could name that variable b. So I can recall b at any point, and Mathematica knows what that variable is. So that's very convenient. So for example, we can do things like find a numerical approximation of b to however many significant figures. We could also define a new value for variable a. We could let a equal the sine of pi over 2. We know that's 1. And then we could ask Mathematica to add a plus b. That looks pretty complicated, so maybe we could ask Mathematica to even simplify. And that looks a bit better.